This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we dive deep into the first look at Robert Pattinson in the new Batsuit for Matt Reeves' Batman movie, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie doing well at the box office after internet fan backlash, but how much say should audiences have in the creative process? And Kevin Smith's animated He-Man Netflix show has an amazing voice cast. Geek Boner! Plus a listener-sponsored review of the movie Brightburn and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, February 20th, 2020.
This is Jason Hawes, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. I've seen a lot of things in my life, but nothing freaks me out like antique porcelain dolls. No, even worse, puppets. Puppets come into life. But that's impossible, right? Right, guys?
My spider shits are tingling. Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert.
Hello, what's up, listener? How's it going? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero, TV and movie news reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us over there, that flatulent, filthy felty who's constantly getting rug burn. It's Rug Boy. How's the knees, Rugs?
Pretty scabby, and my butthole is pretty scabby, too. How'd you know I had gas?
Rugs, I sent you those knee pads in the mail for a reason. You told me you were getting rug burn, and I was trying to help.
Well, you know, I got to pay the rent somehow, Imran.
You got to use the equipment. You got to
pretty scabby,
right.
Pretty clever.
Pretty scabby. You guys, I'm going to debut. I got a new sound clip added to the soundboard suggested by our...
Not funny.
It's not that one. Anthony. But that's really good. I should just record Anthony. Anthony is the human soundboard. And speaking of that, Anthony, here's our new sound clip.
I fucking loved it.
It's a great. That is the most excited I think Anthony has been on the show.
Yeah. Ever since that one episode post show on Patreon where I talked about my Vegas stuff, yeah, that's probably the most excited I've
You were pumped. And what's great about this, you guys, is we can, through our soundboard and clips, we can go through the history of Anthony's enthusiasm based on the clips. Remember, it started here.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
No, that's normal level, Anthony.
That was like level 7 for me.
That's level 7. Okay, so then we move on to this one.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's really good.
It's a little bit more excitement.
It's like 8.5.
And then it jumps all the way.
I fucking loved it.
To that. That's like a...
It needs a Bilotti backup, though. He needs a send-dog from Bilotti.
I need some backup.
What should he say? John Bilotti, record us some audio and send it to me, and we'll add it to...
I fucking loved it.
And you know what? We might as well play all the Tony clips.
Bro, do you even podcast? Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
There you go. There's the complete...
It's also true.
There's the complete set. So I'm glad we can get you that excited, Anthony. It only took 5 years of podcasting.
I'm glad you can complete your little set there.
I got a whole set of Anthony clips. I love it. We're going to use it a lot. You collected
all the stamps.
Yes.
Good for you.
Just like the Monopoly game. I can't find Boardwalk. Let's get to the geek news.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
John should say he's shooting ropes.
After I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm shooting ropes. Like in a New York accent.
That would be amazing.
I fucking loved it.
Yes, calm down there, Anthony. We understand. Look, here's something that Anthony should have. Geek Boner. You being the big Batman fan, Matt Reeves has released a camera test in which we have get our first look of Robert Pattinson in the new Batsuit. The cinematic evolution of Batman continues. If you have not seen this clip, it's about 1 minute, 12 seconds. He's bathed in red light, and Pattinson slowly walks towards the camera into focus and kind of does like a half turn. And you get great looks at the suit, close-ups of the cowl. Anthony, let's start with you. Initial thoughts. We got a new Batman.
We have a new Batman. It looks good. I mean, it kind of, with the red light, looks like Daredevil. The head looks a little enlarged.
Yeah.
The only real thing I noticed, I mean, everything looks fine. You guys can point out some of the finer details. The only thing I noticed was, damn, he's got a pretty good jawline.
The jaw works, and I didn't know Daredevil was going to be in this movie. It's kind of weird. I don't know how that
the red thing. The red was
how
weird.
that works out. Ruggs, what is your initial reaction to this camera test?
I think so far what I've seen isn't disappointing.
Okay.
I mean, I do think the head shape is odd. And I'm waiting to see the rest of it, to see the ears, to see how that plays into the design. If it doesn't look right, that head's going to stick out weird. Like, kind of like that first Daredevil helmet looked weird.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's start with the cowl. It is interesting that they did not show the ears. And I hope he has long ears. I like the long ears. But what
if it's like the first issue of Batman ears where they're like a V?
Yeah, where they're like point in instead of going straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of this costume has that aesthetic of old school and modern, homemade, and, tech. The cowl, I love at the end where you see the stitching in the leather of the cowl, very homemade looking. But my first take, initially, I was a little bit disappointed. And this came out a week ago that they were reverting back to like a Chris Nolan armored suit or like an Arkham Knight armored suit. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. But I've watched this thing a couple of times. It's kind of growing on me. And the cowl is clearly like a homemade leather piece. So that's a nice touch. I
still think Batfleck looks the best.
Well, yeah. What do you guys think? Do you like this armored look, or should it have been, I wanted a cloth suit, and the Batfleck suit is not bad?
I don't necessarily mind. I mean, the armor is a little bulky, but we haven't really seen it yet.
No.
It's tough to fully judge. I will point out the cowl, it looks like around his eyebrows and cheekbones, it's just super enlarged.
Yeah, the pronounced
very pronounced.
Brow is very similar to, like, remember Michael Keaton's Batman suit. Tim Burton's suit had that kind of pronounced brow looking thing.
That looks a little strange if you're going to go with a tactical armored suit, yet the pronounced brow and cheekbones, it looks like that, it just doesn't look like it fits. Look, one looks a little bit more cartoony and the other one looks practical.
Interesting. It does look a lot like Daredevil.
It's really, I mean, we're judging a fucking 55-second clip where they're only panning around on his face in very red mood lighting.
It's very dark. There's another, I'll put a link into a clip that somebody took out the red, made it black and white, and kind of brightened it up, and you get to see a lot of detail. So, look, let's just get to the biggest, like, craziest change on the suit is to the bat symbol. I've heard some rumors, but before we get into what I think it is, what was your guys' take on this weird, like, earless metal bat symbol?
Well, there's two theories that automatically pop into your head.
Yes.
And one is that's a Batarang that he can take out.
Yeah, I had that thought.
And the other one is off of that Kevin Smith issue of Batman, where Batman melts the gun that Joe Chill used into his symbol.
That's crazy, and that's kind of like, it's so dark and nutty, like the gun that took away his parents, now he has protecting him on his chest, always to remember. This is from a Jim Lee and Kevin Smith Batman story, Manufactured for Use, featured in Detective Comics number 1000. Anthony, what do you think about, is this Joe Chill's gun that he's reused?
I've never heard that.
Yeah?
So this is the first I've heard of that being a thing. Well, I have no clue. For me, it looks fine. It does look a little strange that the head is missing on the bat.
Yeah.
It just looks like they designed it to be something practical.
Does this suit look homemade to you, or does it look a little too like he had too much help with it?
Well, he's a billionaire, right?
He is, but he don't want a lot of people to know what the fuck you're doing. And, like, we've had the Lucius Fox.
I don't think that it's really an issue. It's like all the pieces could be nondescript.
Yeah.
And then he'd probably have to stitch or put the symbol in the ears into the cowl, I think, like they did in Begins, which made sense.
Yeah.
So all the pieces are like, but together, I don't know, I just love Begins, how he makes his suit. It's great.
Yeah. That is kind of neat how he gets inspiration from
he gets the fabric that you run electrical current to.
That was cool.
And then you're like, oh shit, there's a practical application for that cape where you can make it into a fucking thing that catches air, and he could like surf on the air with it, and like a hang glider. It's fucking awesome.
So I mean, if there's going to be Wayne Tech in this, if this Batman, this is reportedly will be around like year 2, so like not the beginning
When
of
does it
Batman.
take place? Is it modern?
What is
the date, like the time period?
I still don't know. There was a rumor that it would be in the 90s, but it may just take place now. That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. On
because
the
and
date.
then that like, that technology is going to play a bit larger role in a suit. If you think about it, if someone right now who had billions of dollars to create a crime fighting suit, you'd probably have even some kind of shit to make you super powerful, like a endoskeleton or exoskeleton.
Yeah, but I still feel like it looks. I like the homemade kind of like he just built it himself, like with parts. I don't know. Also, did you notice I like the leather cape, and there's like a collar attached to it, which is different. It looks a lot like Mike Mignola's Batman Gotham by Gaslight Batman.
Somewhat,
right?
It's a little subdued.
Yeah,
it's just there. I guess it's just there to
That's how it attaches.
No, I just think it's there to provide some more, because they've had to take off the armor plating on his neck so he could turn his head.
Yes, I like that. So
there's something else there to kind of maybe deflect something that's getting thrown in his direction.
I like that he can turn his head. That's very important.
Yeah,
it is important.
Yes,
Sure.
Does he seem big enough? He seems like he fills this pretty good, Pattinson.
Well, at this shot, you can't really tell. It's so close, but I'm sure he's going to look about as big as Ezra Miller does in his Flash uniform.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, God, he looks not great.
Yes, he looks all weird.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking about this. This is the 6th Batman we've had in almost 30 years.
Right? Isn't that crazy how many different versions of on-screen Batman we continue to get? But it speaks to the legacy of this character. You can continually reinvent him and reinterpret
people
him.
just still crave seeing Batman.
And you always get excited. You're like, oh, shit, new Batman. And I really think it's smart of him to release this way before some shitty set photos leak. Smart of Matt Reeves to control the narrative here.
Yeah.
So maybe there is this is coming out 2021.
I got faith in Matt Reeves, and I'm hoping that he pulls this one off.
I kind of, the suit, geek boner. I'm gonna say it gives me geek boner. It kind of grew on me, but I want to see more. Obviously,
I'm not over the moon about it. When I saw that Affleck first costume shot, I was like, they fucking did the Dark Knight suit.
Yeah, it was like you could see the cloth suit. Yeah,
I was like, I thought I'd never see that.
Yeah.
And not only that, but say what you want about Zack Snyder, his costumes are always pretty damn fucking good.
They look great on screen.
They're definitely fantastic. So, look, this one, if they're doing the long Halloween, there's going to be tons of bad guys. You got Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Colin Farrell as the Riddler. What I don't want to see is I don't need to see him fucking training. I don't need to see the origin again. Oranges again.
I'll serve you some
You don't need
Orange
to see the pearls.
I don't need to see the fucking pearls and Crime Alley. I don't need the pearl necklace around Batman. No, just drop us in. We get it. Everybody knows who fucking Batman is. Don't even set up the villains. Just fucking drop us in of him Batmaning right away. We've already seen all the other shit.
Make him a teenager and send him to Europe.
Or and have Nick Fury hijack his vacation.
That's a great idea.
I think. No.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
No. Don't give him any.
Just wanted to get a rise.
Give him another rich billionaire friend that actually gives him stuff. No, that makes no sense either. Don't do that. Listener, let us know what you think about the new Batsuit. It's rather Geek Boner or Floppy Jock.
Floppy Jock.
Visit our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation, and hang out with all our awesome listeners. And we like to shout out people in the nation and read their comments. For example, here's what the nation thought of this camera chest. First of all, camera Orange's chest. I'm just doing free word association now. Orange's smarmy umbrella balloon. Steve Morrison, thank you to him for actually posting the link and saying, what a dirty tease. David Zika says,
Floppy Jock.
Hashtag Floppy Jock. John Bellotti Jr. looks okay.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's really good.
No, just okay. Dylan McCandless says that's the original earless bat symbol. Interesting choice. Adam Morris says super armored up again, and obviously can't see the colors, but I really hope it's not just another Nolan black armored suit. Chaz Hubbard says, from what we can tell, he's gonna look pretty good in the cowl, I think. Jesse Rodriguez, he has the chin. Yes, he does.
Great chin. Great jawline.
Great jawline. Great profile. TJ Scott says it looks like the symbol is functional, like there are two folded batarangs for him to grab and throw. That's pretty cool. Plus, it seems as though he can turn his head again. So there's that. And then John Campbell, it has a slight Adam West feel to it in the cowl, which I also agree. It has a little bit of an Adam West. The stitching makes me
I think we said all that shit.
think of Adam West. Yes. And
So we're on the same page.
yes, the nation
Or
agrees.
we read all the comments and don't have any original.
No.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just read your comments on the show.
Pass it off as our own.
You figured it out, kids.
But look, we're all on the same page. That's why these guys are our listeners. Sticking to DC stuff, let's check in on the Birds of Prey box office, having reviewed the movie last episode, listener. Check it out if you missed it. This movie now, worldwide, after about 2 weeks of release, sitting at $152 million on its about 84 worldwide 152 on its $85 million budget. People are saying by the time this thing finishes up, it'll probably make like 225, 250, which is barely like triple the budget, barely them breaking even.
Yeah,
on this
that's
movie.
what I thought.
Yes. So,
did you hear about the faulty reporting on Box Office Mojo?
no, what was that, Ruggs? You were getting into something. I couldn't find anything.
Well, they had fixed it, but like initially, when that weekend report came out, they said that I think the second week report, they said that France had like $26 million come in.
Wow.
And like that's impossible because
that's way too much for a France
from them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sounds wrong. So it was 2.6. They the decimal points for 3 different countries were wrong.
Oh, they were off.
So Taiwan, France, and I think there was another one, Australia.
Honest mistake or shenanigans, Ruggs?
I don't know, but it pumped it up to like it's having $160 million instead of 140.
So international, it's at 88 million. Domestic, 64 million.
Yeah, I think they fixed it. When somebody had pointed it out, like the night that it was like that for a whole day.
Yeah.
So everybody was taking it and running with, it's going to make its money back.
Yeah. I mean, it's barely made its money back now, so you got to wonder if DC Warner Brothers is like, do we do
well,
the
it
sequel?
made, what, $19 million on its second week?
Yeah, speaking of second week, it was number 1 the first week it was out. Gets blown away this past week by fucking the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh, shit.
The movie famously had a huge internet backlash when they originally released the design of this Sonic back in the middle of last year, 2019. Mm-hmm. And, to their credit, Paramount goes back to the visual effects team. The director goes back. They fix it. And this movie goes on to open the budget for this movie, similar to Birds of Prey, $85 million. It opens to $58 million opening weekend. Not only that, that was President's Day. By the end of the next day, Monday, it's at $70 million.
Oh, shit.
Currently, this movie has made $128 million worldwide, and it's Rotten Tomatoes. Everyone seems to love it. Rotten Tomatoes sitting at 63% tomato meter, 5.8 out of 10 average rating.
Well, I would say 94% audience score, by the way, but people are stupid.
Audiences love it.
I haven't seen the movie, but I will say I'm quite surprised when I saw this trailer, I thought this is going to be the worst movie of the year.
Right?
There's no chance anything's going to be worse than this. And apparently it's not, so that's a win.
And it, in fact, has the best domestic opening of any video game movie ever.
Oh, shit.
Beating out Detective Pikachu from last year that held that record. So I thought this would be a great little...
Well, have you been hip to this, though?
What?
Like Sonic. Like his cachet.
Well, that's the thing is, you can point out.
I was hip to it 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic, Sega games, you played it back in the day. There's been cartoons. He's still popular. But the reason this movie's doing well is like almost the same reason why Birds of Prey is failing. And that is your name recognition, mainstream appeal, and marketing, in which Sonic ultimately does it right. And you see how Birds of Prey kind of fouled it up there.
What do you, I don't know. How did they do it right?
Well, because they had better name recognition.
Well, I think that, first of all, we underestimated the power of Sonic.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that there is a large contingent of kids that really love Sonic. I mean, they're in their 20s now, but they grew up watching Sonic. They grew up with playing Sonic games. Sonic has been introduced into Nintendo now, so he's part of like Smash Brothers. I think.
Yeah, he's in Smash Brothers.
So he's been lingering around, and you got the Jaleel White fans who grew up watching him as the voice in the cartoon.
It's still,
so I think that there's even a contingent in the African community that really has embraced Sonic.
Yeah.
So because of Jaleel White.
Yeah.
And so he's got like a lot of like feelers out there that are in different spots, and obviously he's Sega's flagship character. So that's one thing. He's like a Mickey Mouse type of a character.
Absolutely. The IP is still strong.
So you have that, but then you have that whole thing where they redesigned him, and it looked like it's shit. Like when they had the first commercial out.
Yeah.
So then they went back and they redesigned it to please the fans, and I think that probably, even though it seems like the stupidest thing to do, it probably made everybody give it a second chance. Go, hey, they really tried. They even listened to us.
Yeah, I think that absolutely helped.
And it felt that people felt empowered by that.
I think it helped the box office because, and I don't know, like now he looks like the character that everybody knows just in 3D. But does this set up a slippery slope? This is what I kind of wanted to debate with you guys. What is the cost of fan anger? In this case, it works for them and they did the right thing. But
well, the reason why comic book movies have not been, not comic book, video game movies have not been successful is because every single time they make a movie, it's unrecognizable. The Mario Brothers movie.
Yes.
It wasn't anything like Mario.
They completely missed that. Yes.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I mean, remember that Street Fighter movie they did with the girl from Smallville that was nothing like Street Fighter?
I mean, even the original was funny, Jean-Claude Van Damme, but that's not Guile.
Right.
Guile's American. What the fuck are you doing?
Remember Double Dragon? There was a movie for that too.
Yeah. I mean, they've been like, they haven't really stuck it. The Resident Evil movies tried. And there's a couple of other ones out there that did okay, but the big ones like Mario, you would think Mario has got like the most cachet. That's the biggest fucking one, right?
Yeah.
Why would they deviate so far from what Mario is?
Yep.
So they made an effort to at least appeal to the fans. And do I think that it's something that should happen all the time? No, but when you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And this movie would have been dismal if they would have stuck to it. I would guarantee it would have been dismal. That's the only thing people would see when they go see this movie.
He had creepy teeth and like human type eyes and human proportions, and it didn't work.
I agree with the sentiment that we shouldn't see something like this often, because I do agree that whoever's creating the movie has their, should do what they envision they want to do. But as Rug Boy mentioned, this was just absolutely so hideous and wrong.
Right.
In terms of like what people, anyone that's going to see a Sonic movie wants to see Sonic.
Yeah.
They don't want to see something else that is called Sonic. Just like maybe a movie in 1998 where we saw a giant iguana called Godzilla.
That's not Godzilla.
Fan uproar would have really helped then too.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times when, yes, you should listen to the fans, and other times when you should stick to your guns.
It's not one size fits all with this kind of stuff.
These Hollywood people, these suits, they want to take something and they want to take credit for it. So they go and they change stuff. And they don't have respect for source material. That's one of the things that we learn a lot.
Yeah.
And as fans, come on, as a fan, you want to see the best possible version of what you love.
Yeah.
And as true to it as possible. And I was talking about like costume changes and stuff in regards to Birds of Prey with a few people this week. And it's really one of those things that like we're sticklers for. Like most fans are sticklers for. They want to see what they love come to life. So do I think that fans should yay or nay design? They shouldn't like put out like what's Matt Reeves doing? He's putting out this little snippet of Batman, hoping to get decent reactions or to soften us up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So when we do see awkward shots that were out of context, we don't like pounce and say it's disgusting or terrible. So they have to be hip to that we know what we know sometimes more than the people that are making the movies, because they get into this whole thing of that goes far away from the source material. So I think do I think it should be something that regularly happens? No, but I do think that if they just stick to stuff, they don't have to worry about that.
Sometimes it swings the other way too, where you don't want to listen, and such in the cases of like Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. I know a lot of people were initially grumbled at how like it was too grounded and too realistic, but turns out that was the right move. And if you think of like the Transformers designs, people were crying about, why do these fucking Transformers look like this? He didn't listen to any of that, Michael Bay, and there's a fucking $1 billion franchise that's run out of steam, but worldwide, those movies kill.
Yeah, but I think that everyone would have preferred it. I think we just live with it. I think a lot of times we go with it.
Yeah.
Like when we went to go see Godzilla '98, we're like, okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
But like that's not what we really wanted.
Yeah.
So
I would also say the Bay movies, one of the big criticisms was you couldn't tell the Transformers apart.
No, you don't know
the
the
fight
face
scenes.
from their ass, or
I don't know if we
elbow.
necessarily loved that look for those Transformers.
No, I mean, those movies I didn't love it, but apparently a lot of people did. They made a lot of money, and they made fucking 5 of them, and he didn't change shit.
like, what would you say has been made that had changed it completely, that got it right?
So then I would also cite now the Bumblebee movie that actually made him look like from the cartoons and car parts. I thought that got it right, but that does not make as much money as the Transformers movie somehow.
Well, those 5 movies, there was a stink lingering
after
into
the
that
5th
movie.
one, yes.
Yeah, there's reputation.
Trying to think of something as far as Rug Boys comment.
I always had issues with Spider-Man's costumes because I'm like, just give me the vanilla traditional costume, and it's always
Spider-Man 2 did that.
Yes, Amazing Spider-Man 2 got very close, and so that's what.
I'm trying to think of something really goofy in comics
Amazing
that I would have
Spider-Man 2.
They kind of streamlined in the movies.
Like there's certain things, obviously, like Thor, they changed, all right, but they changed they didn't change it too much. They still had the discs,
right?
They still had the red cape. They didn't have the helmet. They had it for a few shots here and there, and then they've completely lost the helmet now.
I forgot he used to wear a helmet in the comics. That's right.
Yeah, that was one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that kind of replaces the image of what Thor is.
Yes.
So I feel like even though I would like to see the helmet, he wore a helmet-like thing in Ragnarok.
Yeah, in Ragnarok, yeah.
But so now Thor is not like what his costuming is. But I think with Thor it's okay because he's a god and he's not really wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Whereas Spider-Man and Batman, they're making a conscious choice to wear something to be a symbol.
Yep.
And I do think that superheroes should have different costumes, like different for different moods, maybe, because that way you're not wearing the same thing all the time. Yeah. And then how do they wash it? Yeah. Like, is the smell? Like, I mean, obviously Batman probably has a closet of the same suits, but like, it's just weird when they just go completely out of left field. Like Doc Ock, they didn't put him in the green.
No, but that would look goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had everything else.
But Green Goblin, they put in the fucking goofy mask.
And no one liked that. And I didn't like that. He looked like a Power Ranger.
Yeah. Well, so in the case of Sonic, look, it was absolutely the right move for them to listen to fan response. But, you still got to have your artistic vision. You still got to stay true to your creative process. And I don't know if you should be worried about what people think for a lot of it.
I will just say, to Rug Boy's point, you can have your artistic vision, but if it's worse than what
you start
was
with
originally made, then you got
a problem. You clearly
you have to
not
improve.
doing things right.
You have to bring something to the table that improves it.
That new design clearly didn't improve it.
No.
Yeah. What, of Sonic, the old design?
Oh, yeah. I look back at the side by sides and I'm going, what Why
would
did
you
do
put
that?
teeth on the thing?
Well, they wanted to make him more human-like to interact with people, but I don't know. It's just a strange
But
decision.
they don't get that the design of him is iconic, and you just have to. It's got to look just like the game. Just
like I remember when I saw Skeletor from Masters of the Universe.
Yes,
and I'm like, that doesn't look like Skeletor. I mean, it's kind of Skeletor-ish, but it's not Skeletor. And they got it as close as they could. They tried. They had like the guy. He's wearing a He-Man-esque thing.
Yeah.
But like it's not the same thing that He-Man wears.
See, I remember
he's not wearing furry pants.
Skeletor did not wear a lot of clothes either. Yeah, he just had like these little panties and a cape and a chest piece.
But I just remember as a kid being like, that's not really what I have in my figures.
None of those people in that movie look anything like the He-Man things.
Right.
But Sonic's doing well. We haven't seen it, but the nation has. Here's what they thought. Mark Russell says absolutely loved it. Jim Carrey was a riot. Ben Schwartz is great as Sonic. Stick around for a mid-credit scene. Lenny Lenzations Romero. He said actually wasn't a terrible movie. I quite enjoyed it.
He got the
Lenzations watching. It's like
we all get the Lenzations.
You get lightheaded and things get melty.
Yeah.
Chris Marin says watched it, really enjoyed it. Carrey was awesome. Cyclops was the same character he plays in Hop. He's talking about James Marsden. The 7 6-year-olds, 5 boys, 2 girls, loved it too. All well behaved. That is a lot of children, Chris Marin.
Oh, shit.
To have to watch at a movie theater.
I like that he threw in that they were well behaved.
They're all well behaved. These are not.
By the way,
yes.
they liked it, but they acted nice. They were polite.
They were very reserved, and they said please and thank you. Brian Goff said, my family and I all liked it. Irvin Dela Cruz, so I liked it well enough. Not the greatest movie, but not the worst. Kids would definitely love it. All the ones in the theater were laughing. Like others said, Jim Carrey was great, probably best part of the movie. Something was lacking, and I'm not sure what, but overall, it was entertaining.
I can tell you what it is. No boobs.
There's no boobs. I think you hit the nail.
In a kid's movie, that's exactly
Listen, even
what you
Howard
wanna
the
see.
Duck had duck boobs, right? And that's a kid's movie.
I think so.
Give me some Sonic boobs. Wasn't one of them a girl? I don't know. Speaking of He-Man and Skeletor, they just released the voiceover talent for Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Netflix show that's coming out. And holy shit.
Oh, shit.
This is a crazy fucking cast they got here. Rugs, He-Man fans, I think will enjoy this. They got Mark Hamill playing Skeletor. I think it's a perfect pick.
Interesting.
Right? You just picture that high-pitched voice. Kevin Conroy, the guy who we have a drop from, Batman.
So we got Batman and the Joker.
Batman and the Joker. Kevin Conroy will be voicing Merman. Lena Headey, Cersei from Game of Thrones, as Evil Lynn. I love that. She's great.
Interesting.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila.
It'll work.
Those are the top 4. Then you got guys like Chris Wood, who's on Supergirl. Chris Wood will be playing He-Man, Prince Adam. Liam Cunningham, Davos from Game of Thrones, as Man-at-Arms.
That's perfect.
I like that.
Right there.
Stephen Root from Office Space and Barry as Cringer. Remember Cringer and Battlecat? Diedrich Bader as Trapjaw. We got Tiffany Smith as Andra. Henry Rollins.
Oh, shit.
Henry Rollins as Triclops. Alan Oppenheimer, who's the original Skeletor, will be voicing Mossman. Susan Eisenberg, who does Wonder Woman and all these cartoons, she's Sorceress. Alicia Silverstone as Queen Marlena. Justin Long as Roboto. Jason Mewes, of course, Jason Mewes has got to be in this if Kevin Smith is making this, as Stinkor. Phil Lamar from Mad TV as Hero. Tony Candyman Todd as Scareglow. And then Cree Summer as Priestess. Kevin Michael Richardson as Beastman. And Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin's daughter, playing Alina. This is a crazy cast.
Yes, Imran read every single name.
Unbelievable.
I can't be. Listen, this is why you're gonna. This is
Geek Boner.
I can't be more excited for this cast and for He-Man from Kevin Smith. I think it's gonna
This
be
is
great.
all you guys. I got nothing on this.
Come on, it's He-Man, Anthony.
I haven't watched one episode of He-Man.
It's nice to know that they're really rolling out the red carpet for this fucking thing.
Top talent.
And trying to get good people involved. So now we just got to see what the animation looks like.
Yeah.
And if it's a joke or if it's like legit.
I can't wait. I think the action
Is
scenes.
it going to be a Voltron or a She-Ra?
Oh boy. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think the action will be very good. Apparently, the guys he's got doing the action are very good at it. And this,
I mean, listen, the Dragon Prince, that was a legit Netflix animation, and hopefully it's in that vein.
Yeah.
And it feels like that, but we'll see.
Meanwhile, if you're a He-Man fan and you're waiting for this He-Man Masters of the Universe live-action reboot with Noah Centineo that was supposed to come out next year, well, Sony has removed it from the release schedule
Yeah, it's not coming.
entirely. I saw a rumor that it may go to Netflix, which is probably a good idea.
They shouldn't make this movie unless they're really going to fucking make it.
Unless they're going to do it right.
Sony owns this, right?
Yeah.
They need an IP to do well.
Yes.
They can't fuck around. They got to like get the right dude to do this and really fucking nail it.
They can totally kill this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing in the news is another thing Anthony does not watch, Westworld.
Didn't watch this trailer.
Westworld, that's fine. You don't watch the show, so
That's right. I didn't feel like I would have a valid opinion
this
on this.
just dropped today, official season 3 trailer from HBO for Westworld. And Ruggs, I apparently got you Geek Boner.
Geek Boner.
Yeah, I'm psyched because it was like season 2 was a weird season.
Yes, it was.
It went in weird places. So if for those of you who have not watched Westworld, I recommend it because it's very good, and it asks a lot of existential questions, and it's about like, you know, what is living and what does being alive mean, and kind of like all that shit that like every robot movie, artificial intelligence movie asks.
Yep.
So they create these androids to fuck and to beat up in this world called Westworld, where humans go on vacation and pretend to be cowboys, ninjas, or whatever they want to be. And they can do whatever they want to these robots so they can like let off some steam. But they're made too good.
Yep.
And they start to like become sentient. And then they start to realize, oh, we could fucking kill these humans and free ourselves and whatever. And that's what they do. So I gave away the whole
pretty much.
So they don't have to watch.
You don't have to watch it. Season 3 has them out in the real world.
At the end of the second season, they get out of Westworld, which is like this secluded place, and they go out into the real world. So, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if they're going to like try and pretend that they're human. You don't know if they're going to just go on killing sprees. You have no idea what's going to happen. So this is where it starts with the main characters. Dolores, and you have Maeve.
Maeve, who we thought was deceased, is not.
Yeah.
And
some new characters in there.
Aaron Paul, you got Jesse Pinkman.
You got some fucking, now you're going, most of it took place in the park where it was the West, right?
Yeah.
It was like
it was the Wild West
cowboy thing.
Yep.
And every once in a while they'd show like the inner workings of the West world where it was like all futuristic and shit. But now we're fully in the future. I guess America. I don't know where we are.
It's like near future world, and everything's like cool and designed and futuristic. And
no, it's like fucking futuristic shit. All there's like robots everywhere.
Yeah, I guess it's maybe 100 years in the future. But you have like Dolores versus Maeve showdown. One of them wants to kill everyone, and the other one's trying to stop him. And you see the Man in Black, Ed Harris. I'm kind of, I got Geek Boner for the third season because, like you said, season 2 was a little weird. This one seems like it has more of a point, and
I
stuff's
feel like they're not going to do that, like that fragmented reality where they're flashing. There's a lot of flashing around.
It was confusing
in different,
like The Witcher.
I actually think it was well done, but like there's a lot of flashing around different timelines and fragmented memories and stuff in the first 2 seasons. And I think that they're going to drop it for like a straightforward narrative, maybe with a few flashbacks here and there.
I like it. And essentially the Man in Black's been playing this long game. And I love the line in the trailer where she's like, welcome to the end of the game. So I don't know if they're alluding to like this is the last season. But
they should go out with a bang.
Definitely go out with a bang.
The production value for this looks great.
Looks amazing. Yes, it does.
So it looks as good as the fucking Mandalorian.
March. Yes, it does. I mean, it's HBO. They always they spend a lot of money. Coming out March 5th, I think, early March. It will be out.
Yeah, it's been on a 2-year hiatus, so maybe they put a lot more time and money into this.
This is like what they did with the Game of Thrones and Sopranos, but taking a long time between seasons. This is their next big anchor show that they're trying to push.
Now, we've seen what happened to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Where it went out like in a total shitstorm. So, I don't know. Yeah. This could be great or it could be dog shit. I mean, all you have is a trailer to go by. So,
Anthony, any interest in watching Westworld?
Not currently, no. No, not yet.
He's got to watch Breaking Bad first.
Watch Breaking Bad first.
A lot of things on the table right now for me, so yeah.
Yes, we'll get into that after the break. Let's take a quick break here, guys, play some promos, and we'll be back with a listener-sponsored movie review of Brightburn right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is Venice, and I've got a message from a friend of mine about my favorite podcast.
It's your boy, Flavor Flav and Full Effect. Check this out, everybody. I want y'all to go check out TJ.
What's good, everybody? TJ Johnson here for Voice from the Underground. I am the most handsome.
Big Has.
And I'm smoking my cigar, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And Dutch.
You pick me up in an Uber and a PT Cruiser, I'm calling Lyft.
Cause they be fighting the power, talking about social issues, politics, you know what I'm saying?
And we're not even that good.
Right, we're terrible. Terrible. Tangents all over the place.
And not only that, but they be keeping it fun with the sports, music, comics, and movies too.
Am I allowed to talk?
I think, no, not right now.
Shut up, colonizer!
You know what I'm saying? He on Twitter at VFU Podcast. So you can find them, So check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy.
Okay, what Flav was trying to say is, check out Voice from the Underground on your favorite podcast network.
Voice from the Underground.
Crisis for the geek kind. Top geek officials admit they underestimated the hipsters' defense capability. Join the geek revolution and save the galaxy. Geeks from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future. They're doing their part. Are you? Want to know more? Join Weeby Geeks and the Geek Revolution and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. Listen to Weeby Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher or online at WeebyGeeks.net. Weeby Geeks, your voice for the Geek Revolution. Want to know more?
Doc and Nerd.
Listen, if you're a fan of the show, you've been enjoying the show, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. There's a link in the show notes, and you will get access to a bonus RSS feed. There's multiple tiers. You can sign up for a monthly donation. You get stickers, t-shirts, bonus content, and you become like an executive producer. If you give us $10 or more a month, you get to pick any movie for us to watch and review, and we're going to get to another one in a little bit. It's a lot of fun. This week, bonus content from Anthony. Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
Instant reactions to Anthony's Oscar-nominated movie Marathon. Anthony, what'd you give us this week?
So just a little backstory. Got a little into the Oscars, decided to watch the movies that I had not seen that were nominated for Best Picture. So I'd only seen Joker and Irishman, so there were 7 more. This past weekend, I watched 3 Oscar movies, 2 in the theater. I watched in order 1917, Parasite, and then Marriage Story, and I gave my instant reaction to all 3 of those.
Only on Netflix. That's amazing.
On Netflix.
I mean, on Marriage Story on Netflix. Your reaction's only on Patreon.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Just join Jock and Nerd Plus Max Premium. No, you can only hear that if you sign up to our fan club. Let me ask you, out of those 3 movies, which one would make you say,
I fucking loved it?
Out of those 3 movies, or are there any of them?
No, I would say I loved all 3 of those movies.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they're all completely different fucking movies. I would even have a hard time making an argument for one being better than the other.
Holy shit.
I've changed my mind a few times already on these.
Yeah.
3. Actually, I'll factor in the other 2, Joker and Irishman.
Yes.
But I think if you had to put a gun to my head right now, as of this moment, I would probably lean towards Parasite being the best out of those 5.
Wow. Well, that's why it won.
But especially the last 3 that I've seen are amazing films.
Solid. What a solid list of movies this year for the Oscars. In fact, Parasite, it's still in the theaters. It's coming back out in IMAX for a limited release. They said their ticket sales went up like 234%.
Oh, shit.
After winning the awards.
I mean, Parasite, Actually, both Parasite and 1917, I was surprised at the amount of people that were in the theater.
Still going to see it.
Definitely the buzz from the Oscars. Parasite, I've never seen that many Korean people.
Not even for, what was that movie? Crazy Rich Asians? No?
I don't remember that many
Koreans
Korean
coming
people.
out for Parasite. And what's funny is this movie has been out for a while. You can rent it on your cable
Absolutely.
box.
Have you seen any of those movies? Any three? And I know Ruggs has seen all three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rimround, have you seen?
I haven't seen Parasite.
Any of those three?
No, but I'm going to watch Marriage Story. I'm going to rent Parasite and Jojo Rabbit because they're.
What about 1917? Have you seen that?
I want to see that, so I may have to go to the theater and see 1917.
So, yeah, I won't spoil anything, but yeah, I mean they're all completely different.
That's why
movies.
I haven't listened to them yet, but I wanted to know if one of them stuck out, and it's great that you're like
they all stick out.
Yeah.
I think 1917, if you can see that in a movie theater, is probably the one you have to see because it's more of an experience than anything.
Yeah.
Parasite, you have to be just locked in.
Yeah.
And Parasite, I think Parasite is the type of movie where you watch it and then you read some of the stuff, you listen to some of the stuff online afterwards, and you go, "Oh wow, there was a lot in that movie," and then it might make you watch it again.
Oh wow!
And then Marriage Story is just very well done.
Yeah.
Like very realistic, well done story about a divorce. So
yeah, wow, solid list of movies. You're going to continue with Jojo Rabbit and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
The only one I'm kind of not looking forward to watching is Little Women, just because I don't know if I will relate to anything in there.
You'll probably like it.
But yeah, maybe I'll like that too.
It's a classic story. Actually, Anthony, join our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon to hear those exclusive reactions as Anthony continues his...
My jumbled reactions. They're literally right after I watched the movie, so I can't even form sentences
I listened
correctly.
to them all. They were all pretty good.
Right on. I got it. So
Oh, thank you.
Now I have to watch these movies so I can listen to the reaction because I didn't listen to them. I just put them up, but I will. I just haven't had time to fucking watch any of these movies. I'm going to get to it.
One more thing. I wouldn't argue too strongly for, especially if you're coming down in 1917 and Parasite.
Yeah.
If a lot of people are thinking that that's the main debate, I wouldn't be mad at the argument for either because they're just both good.
Well, it's solid movies for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm surprised that Knives Out isn't in the conversation.
Yeah.
But that's also a really good.
Yeah, I've heard that. Knives Out, Uncut Gems.
So you watched actually watched 4 movies, not 3.
I did. I was obligated to watch this fourth one that we're going to talk about.
This fourth one is a Patreon sponsored movie. If you want to force us to watch a movie, join the fan club, jockandnerd.com Patreon. But right now, we're going to talk about the movie Brightburn from 2019. Here is your spoiler alert.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled! And this one, Anthony, anywhere near those other 3 movies?
I want to hear your guys' thoughts first, but I will go with easy no.
Okay, well, I just want to get that out of the way because it's obvious. Come on, it's obvious. It's Brightburn. But before we get to it, let's set up. This is our last Patreon review movie for round 1, everyone.
Oh, we finally did it.
We've made, this would be 25 movie orders completed. So when you sign up for our Patreon, you get your order delivered. Not only that, this is the perfect time. If you are a new supporter at $10 or if you bump up your pledge to $10, the perfect time to do it now because your movie will get reviewed quicker because we just got through all of round 1. We will be.
Or if you're a continued multi-year supporter,
Yes.
you get to pick another.
And there's
movie.
a bunch of you guys that if you've been here for more than a year, and we have a bunch of those, so we'll be rolling on with round 2 movies next
this
week.
is your chance to take control of the show.
But you can jump right in because if you're a new one, we'll do it right away. This movie, Brightburn, sponsored by, dedicated to listener Patreon supporter Daryl K, who has been a patron of the show for 21 months.
Talking nerd.
And Daryl, you can also send in your second movie pick since you've been with us for more than a year. This movie from Sony, currently Rotten Tomatoes rating has it at 57%. Average rating 5.63 out of 10. So almost exactly. Tomato meter is almost exactly the average rating. 67% audience score. Very low budget, cheaply made movie made for about $6 million. Opening weekend makes about $7.8 million. Worldwide, it has made $32 million. So
it made money. Yeah.
That's not a bad return for a $6 million movie. Or a $6 million man named Lee Majors No one is going to get that reference.
I got it.
Okay, only guys our age will get the $6 Million Man. This movie directed by David Yarovesky. What else has he done? I'm glad you asked. Not much else in terms of directing. He directed a movie called The Hive. And that's about it. That's about it. Starring Elizabeth Banks, David Denman, and Jackson A. Dunn playing the lead creepy kid, Brandon Breyer. And that's about the other people. I don't really have to read their names. I've read enough names for today. Anthony.
Yeah.
Here's a big, quick plot synopsis. What is Brightburn about?
Ever heard the story of Superman?
No, tell it to me. How does that go?
Some little fucking alien crashes into Kansas, gets picked up by some farmers and raised to be a good boy, and he's actually a superhuman.
Yes, that's not this movie.
That's this movie. What if he was a bad child?
What if he was a shitty kid? Yeah, that's essentially the recap of the thing. What did you think, Anthony? First time watching this movie?
First time. Actually, I'm going to give you guys I always go first, so I'm going to give you guys the floor, and I'll come in third.
Ruggs, have you seen this before?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
Oh, wow.
This is the first time watching Brightburn?
Watch this.
Okay. Oh, I'm so glad we forced Ruggs to watch a movie he didn't want to watch. Okay, Ruggs. What were your opening initial thoughts of the what if Superman was a shitty, socially awkward kid?
I didn't like it.
No?
I didn't like it at all.
No.
There was nothing to it. It was just like a vehicle to use this idea poorly to create like some kind of a horror movie for low budget. And you're basically baiting. You're capitalizing on the fact that it's a Superman type thing, and you're getting that zeitgeist of all these fans that might be curious about that to come check it out. I don't think this is a well-made movie. I don't think this is a movie that even does anything interesting at all.
Jeez,
it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah. Because think about it. Like, you have in the notes, what if Superman was a socially awkward kid with a temper and shitty parents?
That's what this movie is.
No, it's not, because he doesn't have shitty parents. His parents are nice people.
Well, I guess they are.
What did they do wrong? They raised him.
Yeah.
They weren't like doing drugs or anything, or like beating, like the dad was a little bit firm, but like, I mean, at this point, his kid's killing, everything in the fucking chicken coop.
Yes.
He's got a reason to like be a little bit angry, but like, so there's nothing here that would describe, other than the fact that he has powers and he just gets drunk on his power.
Yeah.
And the way that they even handle that is so clunky. So, like, even the idea isn't written and explored well.
Speaking of written, let's not forget to mention the movie is produced by James Gunn, and it's written by two other Gunns, Brian Gunn, Mark Gunn. How many fucking Gunns are there? Apparently he has like 5 brothers.
Too many in America. We need more laws.
Yes, you know what? People aren't the problem. The Gunns are the problem. I mean, no, the other way around. The Gunns are the problem here because they wrote this shit.
Mark Millar wrote Red Sun.
Yeah.
Which is if Superman was raised in Russia.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's, it has a lot of depth to it. This has none. It really has nothing other than let him be a perv. Like, let him, I guess, he's wants to creep up on a girl, and I don't know what he did to the mother, but her tits were out.
Yes.
I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. I didn't like this movie at all. I was like, I didn't think it really had anything to offer.
I mean, so my initial reaction was like, it works on a weird, like a super villain origin meets B movie splatter horror film. Like it didn't know what it wanted to be.
Did you think it worked as a horror film?
I thought the gore and the splatter horror scares were they were funny.
That's just an effect that they used.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, oh shit, that's hilarious. But no, overall I found the movie formulaic, predictable. You knew everything that was going to happen. There was nothing new there, but I don't know. I like the attempt at trying to put superhero genre with the horror film genre, see what happens. But clearly they needed more money and a better fucking script. I don't know.
I think the script was the weakest part.
Yes.
Yes, the effects were like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like when he's in the air, it looks like you're watching the Sci-Fi
They
Channel.
did a lot of they tried to do practical effects for most of it, but there's when he's flying around through the forest, it looks like shit. Anthony, first time watching this, also
First time as well.
What is your take on Superman was a shitty kid story?
So knowing that of the origin of Superman and all that, and there is an interesting idea there, right? Of taking a shitty kid, taking a kid, and what if he ends up bad, and what if what if all the elements that made Superman, something was tinkered, and that ended up producing the product of this this crazy kid that is enamored with his power and all that, and you make it a horror film. Like that's also kind of an interesting idea. Frankly, I'm surprised this was produced and written by the Gunns, because this script is not good. This is the movie. The idea or the thought that kept coming to my mind is this movie's half baked.
Yeah,
you have an interesting idea here. You have an interesting tone to put it in.
Yeah,
yet that's all you have.
Yeah.
You literally just took that idea and went, this is enough to make a movie. You didn't write out, okay, what makes this character? What would make this more interesting is giving this character depth.
Yeah.
What made him like this?
Right.
Why is he like this? Why is there an internal battle that he's fighting? Does he want to be good?
Yeah.
They tease this stuff, but really, the only thing that makes him bad is the red light comes on in his fucking ship that he came
and then
in.
it activates
and
him,
it activates
and then he becomes bad.
The mean gene in him.
Yeah, he just becomes
which
bad.
Isn't as interesting.
No.
It's just a shitty horror movie. So that's all you really have here.
It's such a contrived plot thing too to do that. Like, this thing lights up, and now he's bad.
Right. There's a lot more actually that you could have explored.
Absolutely.
And they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I actually I fucking really disliked this movie. I had to pause it and look at my phone. I'm like, this movie sucks.
Shit.
This movie's terrible.
Shit. Yes.
And let me just throw in one more thing too.
Yeah.
And this is something I stole from Chris Stuckman, but it absolutely is true.
Yeah.
Granted, I knew what the movie was about coming in, but if you wanted to maybe do something a little more interesting and maybe have a twist, you don't do the first scene, have the first scene be a ship crash lands.
Yeah.
Because right off the bat, you ruin the suspense of, okay, what's going wrong?
Yeah,
why
just
is this
show
kid
us the
acting the way he
baby
is?
first.
You know right away the kid is acting fucked up because he's an alien. That could have been at least something you reveal later.
Yeah.
So this, I just don't understand how. I know this isn't James Gunn that wrote the script, but how could this family that I think can write some clever things put out such garbage?
Maybe his brothers aren't as talented. Who knows? They didn't get the fucking gene.
It was Drek because, even the way that it's written, if you're watching a movie and granted in horror movies you yell at the screen all the time, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But I was more they're really going to pretend that there's nothing wrong with this kid for half of the movie.
Yes, nobody ever questions the kid or thinks it's
they're really never going to say it out loud to the kids that they know that the kid's an alien.
Yeah.
They're really not going to ever be like, oh shit, this is we've been waiting for this, we've been preparing for this for a long time.
Yes.
No, let me hide this from you for no apparent reason.
Not tell you.
Yeah, so it's I hate that. That's when writers we need her not to do this. Even though every other person in the world would be like, hey, the kid just killed all these chickens. And
it might be
I found him flying in the middle of the garage.
It might be the kid. Remember, he's an alien. Maybe we should tell
there's
him.
Also, if you want to make it a cool horror movie, I didn't find it suspenseful at all.
No,
and
it's not.
I think there's a lot that you could do to make this suspenseful. But instead of making it suspenseful in the right ways, they decided to revert to kind of shock gore.
Yeah, it's B-movie gore,
Yeah, well, for instance, the girl getting the fucking glass stuck in her eyeball.
No, I don't like when things are in the eye. I could not watch that.
Then you have the guy with the broken jaw because he smashes it.
That was hilarious and amazing makeup work.
That was not makeup work. That was actually, that looks CGI to me.
Oh, it was CGI?
For what it's worth.
Okay.
But I think
that was hilarious.
They just decided to rely upon shock horror.
Yes.
Instead of actually delivering on real tension. But there is, even then, the tension isn't interesting or scary because, as I mentioned, the character they're trying to convey this internal strife that he wants to do good.
Yeah.
But there's never any moment where you're the kid is fighting off this evil force that's coming against him. There isn't even that. It's just I want to do good, and then he's evil.
Yes.
It's just
it's really
just
the girl that sets him off too. Unknowingly, of course. Like,
it's just not good. Like, and then you make him a pervert. I just
it's the first thing he does.
Go to if you're gonna, I don't know, just add some depth. Make him a pervert because his dad like fucking slaps him around. Like, do something.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, why is it such a flip of a switch? It's such a lazy thing.
Wouldn't it make more sense if there were shitty parents? Like, then I would understand the trauma that this kid went through.
They were shitty parents, and he's still trying to be a good kid.
Yes, and then he
like
snaps.
even in the opening shot, these two people they're panning across the bookshelf, and it's like pregnancy books. Like they want a kid.
Yeah,
like it's not like they got a kid and they didn't want. Like there was nothing like.
So, is the lesson here like even good parents can raise a shitty kid, no matter with powers or?
Oh, I don't think this movie has a message.
It doesn't have
like
a message.
that.
I'll tell you what I really hated. Like it's so predictable. Like you said, there's no suspense. The tension is removed. Remember the scene where he's trying to start the lawnmower and then he flings it, and that was kind of funny. But then there's that whole long shot of the blade spinning, and you know what he's gonna do. You know what's going to happen, that he's going to stick his hand in there and it's going to break.
You see that the dad says he's never been cut.
Yeah.
And then you see that he gets cut.
By
you
the
don't go
ship.
and tell him, like, hey, listen, I'm going to tell my husband, he cut his hand.
No, she
doesn't tell him anything.
She hid that whole thing from him until the end. Well, she never told him. She was the only one who thought about that.
And, I mean, I know, like, they're trying to do something original, but the movie ends on such a nihilistic ending.
And the
it's just
ending
like,
is so weird.
It's just a hateful movie. Like, what, this is just a hateful
It
movie
is,
just for the sake of being hateful. There's nothing of substance that I watched.
I didn't mind the ending. That was the only thing that was at least unpredictable.
Okay. That's true. I didn't expect.
I mean, not that I like that fact that it's a nihilistic worldview, but I think that he kills his fucking mom.
Yeah. Well, the way he does it,
and he kills it. He brings down an airplane full of people to cover it up.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, okay, that's fucking crazy. So at least they went at the end. They had something that was like, okay, that's fucking extra.
That's a fair point.
You know what this movie is? You know what?
They needed something, and that was the only thing.
This is what I figured out, and there's going to be spoiler for The Boys coming up, but this movie is the origin story of fucking Homelander. Oh, shit. Think about it.
No,
he blasts his dad in the face like Homelander did at the end of the first season. He brings the plane down. I can imagine this kid growing up into like a Homelander.
But the origin of Homelander is already so much more interesting than this.
Definitely
because of him being raised in a lab and what that would do to a person and his psyche of being treated as special and being away from everyone. This movie is what The Boys is. They aspire to be The Boys as a movie, and this movie is not even close.
No,
The Boys is like the level of which this movie wants to be.
It's layered, it's textured, it's
right.
a lot better.
It's interesting, it's dark.
Yes,
there are horror elements, but there's a lot more substance to The Boys. Yeah. Whereas this is just, again, the idea of a bad Superman in a horror movie.
In like a splatter horror movie. So not the best attempt at combining these two huge genres, which you think would be a fucking no-brainer. Easy.
And throw in the third thing of evil kid.
Like, what do you get out of this movie? Like, now this is...
I got a waste of an hour and a half.
Like, I'll tell you the person that enjoys this movie.
Yeah.
All right? There's two types of people. There's people who don't give a fuck and just want to watch anything. Yeah. They'll watch literally anything.
Yeah.
As long as it's like a movie.
Yeah.
They'll watch it. They don't care. They're not too picky. Then there's people who are into gore.
Yes.
And those people are fucking weird and they'll watch it. Like, I don't like gore. Like,
I don't either.
I think that sometimes it's necessary to convey things.
Yeah.
Realism and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. But if it's just like, that's the only thing that you have.
That's all they had, and there was only
I'm
two
not going to sit through a movie to see gore. Like, that's not, to me, like, that's not what's bringing me to the movie.
Like, if there was
gore.
If there was more of that outlandish, over-the-top gore that made me laugh throughout the movie, I think the movie would have been better. But it's only twice,
example.
and it's, like, dumb.
Here's the example. Blade, for example.
Yeah.
When it first came out, it was pretty gory.
Yeah.
All right? And even the Guillermo del Toro one was pretty gory. But you had Blade.
Yeah.
He was interesting.
Yeah.
All right? He's a vampire that fucking is a daywalker, and he's against other vampires, and he's got a crazy backstory, and there's this whole underworld of vampires that are there. All right. Okay. So there's some gore. Of course, he's chopping people up with swords. Makes sense. Gore.
Yeah.
All right. So there's not just the gore. And so, like, what do you really have in this movie? It's just the gore.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. You don't really see, like, anything else that's interesting.
Did you guys think the kid was creepy enough in his performance or no?
Yeah. I don't think he did anything.
I thought it was
I thought he was pretty unremarkable. I didn't really find... I didn't think anything of him, really.
I wasn't like, this kid's a great actor.
Okay.
No.
I didn't notice him being bad.
Yeah, he was
I guess
adequate.
it's that.
And I did one of the few things I kind of liked was just the symbol and the use of the symbols and the drawings. Like the drawings are fucking dark and crazy when you see them, but just the BB, the Brandon Breyer, Brightburn, it's a neat symbol. I wish they did more with that. They, just used to link all the deaths together and fucking find the kid.
I don't know. This movie just needed a couple of more rewrites.
Yeah.
And, I guess they really didn't have anything to really give meat to this story. It was so like
it's super thin and just surface and like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
The end was weird because so he brings the plane down and it just kind of ends there. And then and over the credits, there's a scene of Michael Rooker doing his best Alex Jones YouTube impersonation, talking about all these creatures that are out there. And I'm not sure if they were trying to set up a franchise. Is that what was going on?
This is an Easter egg.
No, but if you look at the shot, I'll show you where it connects. He talks about like this fish creature, this knot lady, and Brightburn. And there's a picture of Super, Rainn Wilson from Super as that character. Rainn Wilson was apparently they were trying to make a spin-off or a sequel that was going to have the Super character, which is also, that's a James Gunn movie too, right, Ruggs?
Yeah.
So they were James Gunn was trying to like create a Gunn universe and they were going to have Rainn Wilson join them. So at the end of the movie, this kid is free, just terrorizing people, right? Is that what we're supposed to assume?
That's what it is, yeah.
He's just out and fucking killing whoever he wants.
Yeah, please, this is the end of this.
Well, listen, let me just put this out there. Look, we're starting fresh. We got opportunities for new suggestions for movies. I would think that this is good. Find us a gem or a classic or something that is maybe that's going to sort of take us by surprise that we actually like. That would be cool.
Or a movie like Anthony hasn't seen a lot of movies. I love hearing first-time impressions of people who are watching classic movies, like movies that everybody's seen.
Yeah.
That's always good. Okay, look, to wrap this up.
I mean, I understand why this was picked. It's within
our wheelhouse.
It's like the Bizarro wheelhouse for us.
It just doesn't work. Great idea, bad execution. Overall, I love the concept. It's interesting. They just fucking couldn't flesh it out.
It's not really even a movie.
It's barely a movie. So
it's literally what it is a 80s slasher film.
Yeah. That just happens to have like an alien Superman.
Like when in the 80s when they decided, let's just make every slasher based off a holiday.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, here's a concept.
Day,
let's take a superhero and make him a slasher.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Yes, it is.
There's no movie there.
Can you make a good movie combining these two genres that will make money? Yeah. I wonder why more people haven't tried it after this. Well, this came out last year. So.
Well, it would be interesting if there was something like there was no kryptonite. There was nothing.
Or like, shouldn't Morbius kind of be like a horror movie?
I mean, you're asking for this genre in the horror way.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got The Boys season 2 coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's clear this can work.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just this doesn't fucking work.
This does not work. Let's find out how much it doesn't work. Anthony, give me a score out of 10 for Brightburn.
I will go with a solid 3.5.
Okie dokie. Ruggs, what are you going to rate it?
4.5. It's not a movie, but that's as close as I can get it.
I'm gonna give it. It's a 5. It's a 5. It's just fucking barely a movie. But yeah,
you have a really high bar. Like what's got to be like a 2 or a 3 for you?
Oh, it's a fucking Mr. Nanny. Didn't I say that was a 1?
Yeah, that's true. All right, fine. I know what the line is.
There is the line. Fucking Mr. Nanny. I forget what I rated like Annihilation, Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I'd have to listen.
That was not good. Also,
it also didn't help. I don't think it would have necessarily. improved my score, but it didn't help that I'd watched 3
Amazing
Oscar-worthy movies.
yes.
And then I was literally in the giddy mood. I'm like, yeah, I love movies. Movies are awesome. Oh, here's a cool idea, and I throw it on. I'm like,
Lame.
oh, fuck
that
no.
show. That's a big fuck up right there. When you see like Marvel movies and DC movies, whatever, like, and then you see these Oscar-winning films, you could see that the actors have to do a lot more.
Yeah,
correct.
Especially in something like Marriage Story.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Or when, it's just, they have to kind of go to a different place and bring so much more to the table because there's not all this other stuff to distract you. It's like, really, there's nothing there but them.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
And they have to carry it. So it's even like a Scorsese film. It's got all this style and all this stuff to it as well that could be a little bit, that could set this tone and lull you into this, I'm watching a good movie.
I'm in this world. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'll say is there's a headspace I get into for Marvel movies that sometimes can go into a deeper level. And like movies such as the Marriage Story, I have to go into a different headspace.
Yeah.
And then there's a headspace for Brightburn that I just never want to inhabit.
Why do I have to have this movie in my head? Get it out.
Where I'm literally just going, fucking hell.
Let me just extend this olive branch to Brightburn. Everybody who was in this movie, like, they tried to be doing something.
Yeah,
but the script was so weak.
Like Elizabeth Banks was like, she was fine doing what she was doing.
The father was fine. Everybody did their job.
The
it's
kid,
just, it was the failure of script and direction. Those two things. So.
Yeah, the father and the mother actually came off to me mostly realistic.
Yeah.
And I didn't find them to be assholes, and that I wanted the kid to kill him, which a lot of times these horror movies can end up making them snake of even making the protagonist someone you want to see die.
Yeah.
So in that sense, thumbs up.
At the same time, you didn't really feel bad when they did get killed, really. Except for the mom,
I didn't feel
maybe.
bad. I just was just like, this movie needs to fucking end.
Drops his mom from 30,000 feet. Yes, thank you, Daryl K, for your pick and your support.
Thanks,
and keep listening.
I hope that you don't like this movie.
Yes, hopefully we didn't just ruin.
I do want to point out real quick. Yeah. I watched. I like Chris Stuckman a lot.
Yes.
I watched his review after I watched this movie.
Yeah,
and he was like, "I like this movie."
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, it's made because of the parents. I'm going, what the fuck? How can you have such awesome taste in things and then say you like this?
I mean, I can kind of see how you can enjoy it on a base level, but honestly, it's not worth watching a second time.
No, I was just like, this movie's bad. The whole time I was watching, this movie's bad. This movie's bad.
I didn't expect a gory death, so that was something.
Saying it backwards because I just stopped saying it. This is bad.
Bad movie, bad. All right, fuck it. Let's get to news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. A fart work done live in front of a studio audience. Ding!
I would like to have like a applause after that.
I should put the applause back in. This is the segment, listener, where we pull quotes from our Facebook group, emails. This is the segment where you take over the show. And you guys, last week I said a lot of things wrong.
Oh,
yeah. Luckily, we have really smart, observant listeners who pay attention and call me out. So Lisa Morrison commented based on our last episode. Lisa Morrison, a teacher, mind you, she's a teacher. She's like, FYI, Imran, Louisa May Alcott wrote Little Women. Shame on you.
What did you say?
I said Jane Austen. I got my classic female writers.
What did Jane Austen write?
I think that's, look it up.
Small women.
She wrote large women, not little women.
Jane Austen.
She wrote, what's the book she wrote? Pride and Prejudice. God damn it.
Never heard of it.
7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
No, she wrote that. I was in that musical in high school.
No.
Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma. All of these have been turned into movies also, by the way, Jane. So, look, I got confused, but thanks for calling me out. And then David Zika caught another one. He says, Imran confused the pianist with the piano. Both good in their own way, but the pianist is a step up. The Pianist is the Adrian Brody movie. The Piano is the Harvey Keitel ass movie. That's how you set them apart.
Which one is the Pianist movie?
The Pianist is a 2-inch
The Pianist or the Piano?
The 2-inch Pianist movie. So
the Pianist.
All of that, I'm issuing full retractions, and I have to give myself the shame belt.
Shame. Shame.
I love the Pianist.
Shame.
Oh, there's a bell. Okay.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
It's still going.
All right, I'm going to throw shit at him now.
Yes, now throw all your tomatoes and old vegetables as I walk down the street naked.
Shame.
Remember that shit? What a great scene. Moving on, David Zika.
Not Lena Headey's body, by the way.
Not Lena Headey's
No,
body.
that was a body double
Yeah.
in digitals.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she could have she would have looked fine. Why? Maybe she wasn't comfortable. I don't know. Looked good. Whoever it was. Looked amazing.
Shame.
I would, shame.
For shame.
I would throw mud at her too. David Zika shared a link with this comment. I don't think this one has ever come up on the show. An excellent example of how great direction and editing can make a lower budget into something great. Not sure how to feel about a remake. I put this in because it's perfect based on our recent conversation of Brightburn, low budget. He is talking about this article is titled Run Lola Run, set for Bollywood remake through Sony and Lipsis. First of all, Run Lola Run, German movie from what year is this? 1998.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing movie, highly recommended, starring Franca Potente, and it turns the ticking clock plot device into an awesome, tense movie with great techno music. She runs a lot, and she's got to save her brother. It's fucking great, low budget. I would check it out. Anthony, have you ever heard of Run Lola Run?
Run, Forrest, Run? What?
Run, Forrest? No, Run Lola Run. You never heard of this movie?
Don't think so.
I saw it in the theater and I really enjoyed it. At the time, I wasn't as well versed in movies as I am now, but yeah, I did like it a lot.
I mean, I haven't watched it in years, but I feel like it would hold up. It was a fucking great movie.
I have no idea if it holds up. I haven't seen it in
I
years.
just love Franca Potente's red hair flashing through. I don't know why Bollywood is remaking it, but fine. Okay, whatever.
People forgot it exists,
Yeah,
so
yes.
now let's remake it and act like we did something new.
But I'm glad Zika brought this up. That is a solid recommendation. Definitely check out this movie if you're looking for things to watch. It's really well done. And then the last bit of comments from the nation, David Malofsky shares a link and writes this comment. I just saw this article and thought it was interesting, giving Rug Boy's rant a while back about how Disney should try and buy Spider-Man back outright. While he's definitely the biggest cash cow on the Marvel roster, Marvel does own the rights to animated TV shows, and with the kids' toys being the biggest selling Spidey items, they are really getting the lion's share of the character already. Sadly, I think this means Sony will own Spider-Man for a long time. The article he shared, headline, "It doesn't make sense for Disney to buy Spider-Man off Sony." And we've talked about this in the past, but what do you think now with the way things are happening? I still feel Sony, Spider-Man is more valuable to Sony than it is to Disney.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I think I read the article. It makes some points, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, it doesn't make sense for them to buy it now.
Right.
And and the real reason is it doesn't make sense because they just spent all this money on Fox.
Yeah, and they got the Disney Plus shit they're setting up.
So at this point in time, they're not going to, but they're eventually going to do it. Like when this shit doesn't start panning out for Sony and they start losing money on making these movies and like not, I mean, look, Birds of Prey just did shitty.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these other movies that are coming out are going to do shitty. Who knows? So if that starts happening, if that trend starts happening, they're going to probably be like, hey, we need to make some money. We're going down. We need some inflow of cash. Let's get like $10 billion from Disney.
There's still that rumor of that clause in the contract out there that if somebody buys Sony, the rights automatically revert back to Marvel.
That's also true.
Shit. Anthony, what do you think? Who needs who more at this point?
Oh, Sony needs Spider-Man more.
So,
in my opinion.
So no amount of money Disney offers probably.
I don't know about I mean, anything's for sale, but I just don't. I don't know if Marvel's all that like they definitely want Spider-Man, but I don't know if they necessarily see the value in spending the amount that it would take, whereas just developing they're already, as you can see by Phase 4, trying to develop some other IP, so that they don't
different,
and they already don't need to rely on Spider-Man. So that's where I'm at.
I mean, whereas Spider-Man there's 900 characters Sony has in the deal, Disney and Marvel have access to 7,000 characters. And they've done well with the obscure ones they've tried to put out there so far.
Yeah, and they've built. I mean, Iron Man, arguably at this point, is just as big a character as Spider-Man is,
which is still so weird. Like,
very weird.
It's normal now, but the fact that that's a thing and Thanos, everyone knows Thanos, is so bizarre. Yeah. And also, the Sony boss Tom Rothman recently made comments, of course, saying, "I hope that the deal with Disney continues for years because that also benefits them."
Yep.
Because they need Disney's creative force.
And the rub of having Spider-Man in the Marvel universe helps those films, and then it helps these other side films because maybe most of the audience gets confused and thinks
they have no idea.
Maybe you'll see Morbius in an Iron Man film or something like that. They have no clue.
Yes. So speaking of which, this has already kind of started. The Instagram account of Flash Thompson that he uses in Spider-Man Far From Home, Spidey #1 fan, recently posted a photo of the Daily Bugle. This newspaper cover has been in set shots. Basically, it says the Daily Bugle. It says, "Where is Spider-Man?" with a question mark. So Flash Thompson from the MCU Sony universe posted this on his Instagram saying, "Sometimes I miss when the world wasn't being destroyed by vampires, aliens, and flying robots, people." And I was like, "Oh shit!" So is this the start of them trying to get people used to? We're going to see Tom Holland, possibly in Morbius, possibly in Venom 2, and he's gonna go back and forth.
I mean, if that's what they're doing and it works out for both companies, that'd be cool. I don't know if it's going to work though.
This really interesting detail that says there have been other stories which have been posted on this Instagram account which make reference to Flash being saved by Daredevil, Avengers Tower being renamed to the Baxter Building. There's other theories online that whoever is running the account is just playing into fan theories seen on Reddit to make the whole thing feel authentic.
I would lean more towards, I think there is truth with Morbius being in the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
But some of that other stuff I think is just, I don't think they're necessarily telling what's the character's name that plays Flash Thompson?
Tony Revolori.
Yeah, I don't think Tony Revolori has the inside scoop on Marvel's plans for the next 5 to 10 years.
This may be a fan account too. But what we do know solidly is there is a poster of Spider-Man up in the movie saying murderer. You see the Daily Bugle and saying, "Where is Spider-Man?" as if he's missing in one of the set shots. So, and there's a picture of Woody Harrelson as Carnage without the shitty red wig. You don't see him. He's just human form. But that is coming out later this year. So Spider-Man's future is going to be really interesting in the next few years. How much can they stretch this out and bounce the guy back and forth and not like dilute what Disney created? I don't know. Or Marvel created.
It's going to be interesting to see how these movies do.
I mean,
Chelsea?
Yeah, in the next 5 to 10 years, Spider-Man's future
if Venom 2 and Morbius don't do well, they're going to be singing a different tune over at Sony.
Here's the thing, dude. Sony right now, they're 2 for 2, technically. Venom made a lot of money, commercially loved. Into the Spider-Verse fucking wins an Oscar.
Yeah, but they didn't make a lot of money, though.
They didn't make a lot of money, but won an Oscar. So they're, so far, this experiment of Sony's Universal Marvel characters with Spider-Man everywhere seems to be working for them. Didn't make a lot of money, but yeah.
They're doing a lot better, yes, for sure.
So this Morbius, I'm really excited for this Morbius and Venom 2 with the new directors. So yeah, good stuff. All right, gang, we're up to 113 ratings on our Apple Podcast rating.
Nice.
Whoa. We're getting there.
Talking nerd.
We're looking to get to 200. Grab your cousin's iPhone listener if he's in the U.S. or iOS device. Any iPad, laptop will do. Go to the podcast app and just give us 5 stars. That's all you got to do. Log in, give us 5 stars. We're trying to get to 200 so we can be official reviewers. Look, we're getting press credentials to C2E2. We might as well be official reviewers in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Anthony, any final thoughts?
Make sure you guys brush your teeth before you go to bed. Floss in the morning. Same thing. Brush your teeth, floss, and probably throughout the day floss as well, or else you will get plaque and gingivitis, like Imran, and then have to get all your teeth pulled.
And make sure your taint is clean at all times, because you never know when you're going to have to show your taint.
I like how he built that to an insult to Imran.
Wasn't an insult. He just stated the facts.
Right.
Random order of facts.
Well, a way to slight you in some way.
Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
Well, I don't usually say this, but
say it.
I'm going to say it.
For shizzle.
For shizzle.
For shizzle. I looked at my Twitter following.
Yeah.
And it's like about 500 something.
That's not bad.
And then I look at the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Yes.
And what are you at, Imran?
1440 something.
So over 1,000.
1441. So all those people should be following you too.
Yeah, what the fuck is up, dude?
I retweet you. Maybe I'll do an active tweet.
He'll argue with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, first of all, you motherfuckers should be following me. I should have as many followers as Imran.
Absolutely.
Number two, I need you guys to retweet my stuff and fucking and converse. I got Seth Morgan. He's up in my shit all day long, and it's nice to have a little backup in here. I get into an argument with somebody. It's nice to have an army to send to fucking fuck them up.
At Practical Seth has been doing great at promoting our show. Also, we appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody should be doing that, though.
Yeah.
Get involved with the show, listeners. Spread the word. Spread the geekery. Tell your friends. Let's grow this empire.
Tell your friends' moms.
Tell your friends' moms. Tell your friends' mom's dog. And
I was going to say dog. How did you know I was going to go to the dog? What?
I know what you're going to say.
I fucking loved it.
He fucking loves it.
I fucking love it.
Thanks for visit the show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/315, because this is the 315th episode of the Jock and Nerd podcast. You'll find everything we talked about, how to get in touch, how to listen. And if you like the show, again, tell your friends. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
Hey, my name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
Hey, we'll catch you next time over here. We'll catch you next time.
Did I say my Twitter was at Really Rug Boy?
No, you can say it now.
Oh, my Twitter's at Really Rug Boy on Twitter.
Go.
I did that whole push and I didn't even fucking mention my name. Lame. What a dickhead.
What a dick. Jock and Nerd.